Rape culture. Before you start wondering, yes, the explanation that describes this theory is as ridiculous as the theory itself sounds. This theory has been linked to the causes of domestic violence against women, sexism against women, and of course rape, which if read in any feminist text is a crime committed only by men. To understand this theory, we must ignore the staggering numbers of women raping other women. We must also brush aside the high percentage of domestic violence among lesbian couples. Finally, we have to completely disregard the fact that women rape men and boys. You must come to believe, as the majority of feminists do, that it is impossible for a woman to rape a man, and that 99% of all rapists are men. I know that it is hard for rational people to set aside proven and sensible facts that refute this, but to understand why rape culture is such a dangerous epidemic, for these next few minutes, you'll have to join gender feminists or female supremacists, as they are rightfully categorized, in ignoring facts and logic. What is rape culture? Well, it has no official definition, so to find out its meaning I had to go to the only place it's discussed: feminist websites. Rape culture is a term used within women's studies and feminism describing a culture in which rape and other sexual violence, usually against women, are common, and in which prevalent attitudes, norms, practices, and media condone, normalize, excuse, or encourage sexualized violence. Within the paradigm, acts of sexism are commonly employed to validate and rationalize normative misogynistic practices. For instance, sexist jokes may be told to foster disrespect for women and an accompanying disregard for their well-being, which ultimately make their rape and abuse seem acceptable. Examples of behavior said to typify rape culture include victim blaming, trivializing prison rape, and sexual objectification. If all of that was hard to read or listen to, believe me, it was a lot harder for me to copy and paste it and say it. Let's examine the behaviors that typify rape culture. Victim blaming. The first thing any feminist will accuse a man or woman who questions the validity of a rape accusation made by a woman of doing. If we ask why said victim was making sexual advances towards said rapist before the crime took place, we're victim blaming. If we ask why said victim was dressed in such a way as to attract the attention of the opposite sex, we're victim blaming. If we ask why said victim drank herself into a drunken stupor and jumped into bed with said rapist, then we are, of course, victim blaming. Trivializing prison rape. Where in any country is prison rape trivialized, I wonder? In any feminist organization or website, perhaps? In the media, prison rape is seen as a justified punishment for men and only men who commit any crime. What about female prison rape? That seems to be more trivialized, as it is rarely brought up by the media or feminists. Female prison rape is indeed trivialized in our society, by feminists. They don't bring this up for the simple reason of outrage control. How can the public be focused solely on and angered by male rapists if they are educated on the fact that women rape other women, in and out of prison? Sexual objectification. Feminists feel that because women are standing in front of advertisements wearing bikinis, they are being objectified. Forget the fact that these women choose to do this. Forget logic, and forget reason. These women are being objectified. Now, what do feminists say to excuse their disbelief in male objectification in the media? The first and most commonly used excuse is, women are objectified more. The second, those men choose to be paraded around on TV and billboards with no shirts. These double standards are used in just about every feminist excuse for not giving a damn about male issues that far exceed objectification. I'm sure those who have seen my previous videos are wondering why I'm listing feminist rhetoric that has nothing to do with any real legal issues. Don't worry. The first half of this message was used only to help people understand why feminists have no concern for men inside of the law by explaining their utter lack of concern for men outside of the law. The main focus point of this message is about how feminists use the fabricated theory of rape culture to excuse the sexual responsibility of women and help further their advocacy for not punishing women who falsely accuse men of rape. How do they do this? Enter the number one reason feminists believe women falsely accuse men of rape: slutshaming. That's right. If I made stuff like this up, I'd be making millions in book sales to feminist cult members too. What is slut shaming? Exactly what it sounds like. According to feminists, if a woman sleeps with multiple partners on a weekly basis, she is categorized as a slut. If a man sleeps with multiple partners on a weekly basis, he is categorized as a stud. Basically, no man is ever called a slut if he has sex with lots of women, as said by feminists. When a woman's friends finds out that she has had sex with a lot of men, because of the slut shaming she faces, the woman is pressured by society to deny that any of the sex was consensual and that she was instead raped. No, I didn't make that up. According to feminists, women are so weak-willed, fragile, and immoral that instead of cutting the ties of friendship with these slut-shaming people, she will deny her act of consensual sex and instead choose to have a man arrested and more than likely imprisoned than endure any more of the name-calling that her fragile emotions can't take. Furthermore, her friends, meaning every friend of every woman in the Western world, are also so weak-willed that they will throw away their friendship in order to constantly hound their timid female friend with insults born of indoctrination and gender socialization. By now, if none of this sounds ridiculous to you, then congratulations, you're a feminist. Feminists defend women who falsely accuse men of rape with these ideals. They march the streets claiming their message is that women are strong, yet their theories suggest otherwise. It has been proven that women will lie about rape out of spite, to excuse infidelity, win custody battles, and sometimes because they feel like it. Stating these facts will anger feminists, not because people will start condemning women for the crimes they commit, but because it ruins the angelic image of women that feminists try so hard to create. Simply put, if women are perceived to be just as violent, vicious, and human as men, then the laws that grant them more rights and protection would indeed be discriminatory towards men. These facts and the logic that they carry are irrefutable. However, many have come to realize from the actions and writings of feminists, refuting facts and logic is not their goal. Instead, they justify the unjust laws that deny men their civil rights with senseless and unproven theories such as rape culture and the patriarchy. The theory of rape culture insinuates an inherent weakness in the minds and bodies of women. I reject the belief that women are so weak they feel they must ruin lives in order to stop condescending glares and insults. As it turns out, women are not weak, and the crimes committed by women are condemned by women. These women want what every other person that believes in justice wants. They want criminals to be punished for the crimes they commit and for those punishments to fit the crimes. They want men and women to be innocent until proven guilty. They want the arrest of men without probable cause to end. They want the names and photos of their husbands and sons to be kept out of the media when accused of rape like the accusers' names and photos are. They want false rape accusers to serve the same amount of time in prison a rapist would, instead of letting them remain free and ruin the life of someone else. Feminists, female and male, are against true justice such as this, and would rather have men and women continue to uphold the injustice that has infected our legal system. They would rather continue to hold their bigoted theories such as rape culture in the limelight. Too bad humanists, men's rights activists, and anyone with common sense have already put the feminist theory of rape culture where it rightfully belongs. File 13.